In this lab, we will apply what we have learned about trigger conditions, data mapping, and formula mode to a scenario.
John is asked to create a case to onboard the customer whenever there's a new or updated sales opportunity that's successfully closed and therefore marked as closed won in the application Salesforce.
In addition, the contact of these new cases should be the same contact that was created in the earlier lab.
How can he achieve this using Workato? First, to filter for new or updated opportunities that are successfully closed, John can specify the trigger condition as opportunities whose stage are marked as closed won. Next, to tag these new cases to the contact created by him, he can first search for contact using a unique field such as email before creating a case using the data returned from the contact and opportunity. Using the Salesforce account that you have created earlier, let's look at how we can do this in the Workato platform.
First, click on Create a New Recipe, where you will be guided to set up your recipe. When naming your recipe, think of a name that makes it easy for you to find. We can name this recipe New Updated Opportunity. We'll create a case to onboard customer. Next, ensure that the destination folder is where you want to store this recipe, such as your personal folder. Then, let's select the starting point as Trigger from an app and click on the Start Building button. Next, let's select Salesforce as the application. Following this, choose New Updated Record Opportunity as the trigger. Then, select the Salesforce connection that you have established in the previous lab for this recipe. For the setup, let's leave the time at which the recipe should pick up events from as it is 1 hour ago. Next, scroll down to click on the toggle for trigger condition.
To specify the trigger condition, let's search for the stage data pill and drag and drop it in the trigger data input field. We will select equals as the condition type and input closed won as the value. Now that we have configured the trigger, let us move to the actions.
To search for contacts in Salesforce, click on Action in an app and search for Salesforce as the application and search Records as the action. Thereafter, select Contact as the object so as to search within Contacts in Salesforce. Next, in choosing the field to match, we will search by the email input field, as email addresses are usually unique to every contact. Let's enter the email address of the contact that we've created previously, john.doe@workato.com. If you do not see the email input field, click on Show Optional Fields to add it. We will leave the other fields as is.
We will now configure the next action to create a case. To do so, click on the plus sign and select Action in an app. Select Salesforce as the application and create Record as the action. Thereafter, select Case as the object as we want to create a case.
In the Contact ID input field, let's drag and drop the Contact ID data pill from the Step 2 output so that the case will be linked to the contact that was created in the previous lab. Let's also fill in the description input field by mapping in the description of the opportunity from the Step 1 output. Following that, let's leave the Owner ID input field blank and set the priority for these cases to be created as high. With regards to the status of these cases, let's set the status as new. For the subject of the case, we will use a combination of static and dynamic inputs by mapping the opportunity's name from the Step 1 output as well as input -onboarding to indicate that this is a case about onboarding. If any of these input fields are missing, you may add them by choosing from the list of optional fields.
Now that we are done, before testing our recipe, let's go into our Salesforce account to create an opportunity that's marked as closed won.
In your Salesforce homepage, click on the Opportunity tab. Next, click on New to fill in information about the opportunity.
Let's key in $15,000 for the amount and select any date as the close date. We will also name the opportunity as ABC Company and select Closed Won as the stage. Let's also input a simple description such as 5 licenses purchased and click Save. Now that a Closed Won opportunity is created, Let's go back to the Workato platform to test the recipe. Click on Test Recipe, and one job should be processed. Now back in the Salesforce platform, let's click on Cases, and we will notice that a case with the subject ABC Company-onboarding has been created. Click on it to view the case information. We will notice that the contact name for this case is John Doe, meeting the requirements of our scenario. And it contains other data that we have mapped from the opportunity, such as the description.
If you are unable to locate cases, go to the App Launcher at the top right-hand side of the platform and select View All. You will be able to locate cases in the App Launcher. This brings us to the end of the lesson. Try creating the same recipe before moving on to the next lesson.